And firstly, on the session, so far so good.
James, it certainly is, and it does look like we are maintaining some of those gains coming into this afternoon's trade. So very positive to see, particularly given the weakness that we saw on the market yesterday. But of course, as you mentioned, really that materials sector continuing on. We did start to see some strength coming back in yesterday, but it is really rallying today. Those iron ore miners being the ones that are pushing up that sector. We saw iron ore up about 5% overnight, but we also did see gold and copper higher. So we're also seeing some strength in a lot of those stocks, and certainly pushing that materials sector higher. Energy, as you say, is holding up quite well. But if we have a look at some of those consumer discretionary stocks, the likes of Kathmandu, JB Hi-Fi, Premier Investments, they are also performing quite strongly today. We saw that ANZ, Roy Morgan, consumer confidence data coming through pretty strongly. The ones that are coming under a little bit of pressure today are some of those airline stocks. We are seeing the likes of Qantas and Virgin lower. And of course, we did see that US airline index down about 6.2% overnight over continuing concerns about that Ebola crisis. So really that is some of the ones that are coming under pressure, but overall seeing all sectors trading in positive territory today, and certainly seeing a very strong performance, hoping it will continue for the rest of the afternoon.
Absolutely. Look, let's talk stock specific. Oz Minerals having a bumper session, getting caught up in, I suppose, people looking at the material space, but also some news about Carrapateena.
That's exactly right, James. Carrapateena certainly driving that share price today. Of course, they have announced that they have a number of parties interested who will be conducting due diligence now on this project. And of course, that will certainly add value, I think, long term in terms of that share price if they are actually able to transact on Carrapateena. But in addition to that, we have actually seen a very strong quarterly production report come through from their Prominent Hill mine. We saw copper production up 18% and gold production was up about 54%. Their open pit mining is actually well ahead of schedule, and we also did see the first production coming out of their Marloo underground mine, so that was certainly very promising. We also saw lower costs. Costs were about 8.3% below the prior corresponding period, so that was certainly very positive. We know the stock really has been hit by high costs at that Prominent Hill mine. It has been down over 50% over the last couple of years, so that's really a positive development. And finally, they've also reiterated their 2014 guidance, so confirming that that is on track, and that's certainly a positive as well. So overall, certainly quite like the outlook for this stock, and we do actually think we might start to see a turnaround in some of that free cash flow coming into the next year. And of course, that Carrapateena project should add some value as well.
Just looking at some of the best and worst performers, standout in terms of best performers, WDS Limited up about 24.5%.
James, that's right, and of course this is off the back of WDS yesterday having an absolute shocker day. It was down about 65%, and of course it was the worst performer. So really seeing a huge turnaround in that stock today, and I think that is a sign that a lot of the selling yesterday was potentially overdone. We know that the stock yesterday came out with a profit warning, expecting those net profits to be up to 88% lower than the prior year, and also those revenues to be up to about 6% lower than FY14. We know that they actually lost out on an energy contract. They are still facing some problems at their Eagle Downs coal mine, and of course they are still in search of a new CEO. So I think that is putting a bit of uncertainty and certainly pressure in terms of confidence for investors. So all of that really added to that share price fall yesterday. But seeing that turnaround today, despite this mining industry or mining services industry coming under pressure, the company yesterday actually did confirm that they do still remain in a very strong financial position, so their balance sheet still looks very sound. They have a solid order book and also some potential growth opportunities as well, so that seemed quite positive and potentially a reason why we are seeing a bounce in that share price today as well. But I think overall a lot of these mining services companies certainly are coming under a lot of pressure. Clearly that mining industry is slowing down. Of course that's resulting in less projects going around, and of course high competition now in terms of these mining services companies competing for business. So I certainly think there is still some underlying issues within the business, but certainly seeing that strong performance today off the back of those significant falls yesterday.
Fantastic, Leanne. Thanks very much.
Thanks, James.